Welcome, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to Pittsburgh and Duquesne University for our Ethics Vibe series associated with the Vera Institute for Business Ethics and the Business School here at Duquesne. I'm your host, David Wasilewski, the Executive Director of the Vera Institute for Business Ethics and Professor of Management and Business Ethics here at Duquesne. We are starting our inaugural episode of Ethical AI and the Common Good series of our Ethics Vibes podcasts. And today I am very proud and honored to welcome Dr. Chhablani, a vitreoretinal surgeon at the Department of Ophthalmology at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center Vision Institute here in Pittsburgh, and the founder of Netramind Solutions, a company that is trying to make macular degeneration detection accessible to all. This subject has personal significance to me because my mother went blind from macular degeneration many years ago, and part of it was lack of detection, and what Dr. Chhablani is doing, I think, would have helped her back in the day. The late, great actor and director Robert Redford used to say, and he was famous for going up to people and asking them, "Tell me your story," so he'd get to learn about them more. So, Dr. Chhablani, let me start with that. Tell us your story.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Dave, for inviting me for this very interesting series. And I'm honored to be part of this. And, as you can imagine, the number of years of research we put into solve the problems for our patients, this is very encouraging that, you all have interest and there is so much support around it. So tell you the story about Netramind. So for our audience, just to reiterate that Netramind is a AI software-based company which is aiming towards detecting age-related macular degeneration, also called AMD. And AMD is one of the leading cause of vision loss, particularly in the Western world. So we are aiming to diagnose or detect AMD at a very early stage, and then hoping to predict the progression, which will help our patients, get identified with this disease very soon. So, Dave, to answer your question, how did it all started? That I started ophthalmology, then ended up doing retina. My interest always was around the imaging. And we started looking into various biomarkers in the eye, and I can tell you that the eyeballs are very interesting organ of the body, which allows us to see so much details without dissecting much. But we can image the blood vessels, we can image retina, which has almost 10 layers, and using simple scanners, we are able to identify diseases and understand the treatment response just by doing these simple scans. So my interest was around identifying newer biomarkers to identify these diseases at a very early stage, and this is what really pushed us, and this we have been doing for almost 15 years. So right now what we have in AI-based software, which allows us to identify the signs of age-related macular degeneration using those scans. Why do we really need this? I would say that, as a clinician, we see this every day, that these patients are coming to us with vision loss. In every patient I think about that, I wish I could have diagnosed this case way early.
Sure, because a lot of people just go routinely to see an optometrist, and
yes,
they don't have the equipment to actually test for some of these more serious eye problems, right?
Yes, exactly. And as a retina specialist, I feel that, I wish we could see these patients very early. So that's why we created a tool which can actually help our optometrist, or where there is a first encounter of the patient, they will be able to diagnose this disease way early and then in consultation with us, we can decide whether they follow up with us or when do we really need to see them. So we will be able to identify these patients early, and then our tools, we are hoping, which is still underway, is that how can we predict for individual patients? That we really want to know that when this patient will start having the disease vision loss because of the wet conversion, when they will start having the involvement of the central area. So if we can predict this early by using artificial intelligence, we will be able to identify those fast progressors and start treating them very early, or start keeping a close follow-up.
There's a lot of controversy around artificial intelligence, as you know. We obviously know all the good things it can do. And the purpose of this podcast series in particular is to explore ethical AI, so how artificial intelligence can be used for the common good. And that's why your story interests me so much, because it's absolutely perfect. You were going for the common good. Now, who would you market this AI tool mostly?
So at this point, we believe that our primary customers are going to be optometrists, or if allowed, we will be able to really reach out to the primary care physicians where the patient is truly encountering the eye doctor first time.
Okay.
So those are our primary customers, where we can actually take our tools, and using the routine eye exam, routine scans, we will be able to give them the guidance in terms of the detection as well as prediction.
Yeah, you're giving them the time to actually find a solution, right?
Yes.
Because oftentimes when they finally get to ophthalmologist in your office, it's too late.
Yes.
So that's it's quite noble. Now, you're at early stage of development with this tool. What kinds of support and funding are you seeking at the moment?
This is a very interesting question, and coming from the research of almost 15 years and writing grants and struggling with the funding for the lab, I would say that the one thing which we really truly believe is that having partners rather than investors, because people, those who truly believe in us, believe in that what we are aiming for, we are looking for partners, donors, or investors who really align their vision with us. And at the same time, we are also looking for clinical partnership, where we can deploy our tools, and that gets early data and understand how the workflow is going to be, how we can improve our tools, because at the end of the day, we really want to deliver the most accurate tools to our patients. And also, I would say that we are so new to the business aspect of this, so we are still learning about the business and the strategic planning. Looking forward, so I think that any help in that regard would be very appreciated.
Okay, that's great. We will have Dr. Chhablani's information on this podcast on the screen towards the end, so you can reach out to potential partners.
Thank you.
What kind of data are you looking for from the patient to make the AI tool the most effective for them and for detection?
Yeah, I think this is where I would say clinicians play a role, such as me, that because we know that this is not just a scan which can predict the disease progression. So that is what our research has been showing us, that there is a lot of clinical data which gets into which actually helps to predict. So at this point, we are not only using the routine eye exam or routine eye scans, but we are also using patient systemic data or associated family history or smoking, or if they had any diseases before even they came to ophthalmology, are they playing a role in I should say the onset of the disease and the progression. So right now we are just collecting all the data, putting into the AI models, and then trying to predict the progression.
Now, in terms of an ethical issue, do you run into any ethical issues in terms of protecting your patients' privacy of information, privacy of data?
Yeah, so we are very particular about this part, because I know that, like you mentioned earlier, that every AI company is being seen as suspicious of what you're doing with the data. So we make sure that we follow the HIPAA compliance, we follow the cybersecurity ways of sharing the data, And at any point of time, we do not share any patient-sensitive information. And we are very much, getting into the federated learning stage where we are training our models, but just sharing our models. So we make sure that none of the patient's information is being shared with, even sometimes with me as well, because I'm also looking at only the scans. So we make sure that we are sticking to the ethical principles of using AI.
Now, if you're marketing to optometry centers through big companies, say, Walmarts have optometrist centers in their stores, do you worry about them sharing the patient's data or compromising their privacy at all?
No, we want to make sure that this is very much clearly mentioned in the agreement which we make with them. We want to make sure that there are specific audit trails. We are already setting up our quality management system where we want to make sure that even with our partners, investors, or users or customers, we want to make sure that we don't share any patient-sensitive information and follow the ethical principles.
By the same token, the tool is only as effective as forthcoming the patients are in providing that data and information, right? So you can actually have the AI have the predictive ability, right?
Yes.
So you really do rely on their accuracy of data.
Absolutely, and I think that this is something which we really want to push forward, where we try to collect as much as information about the patient, but making sure that we don't share any HIPAA. We follow the HIPAA compliance, but at the same time, the more information we have about the patient, our models will do much better.
Now, going back to the donors, have you experienced any conflicts of interest? Because you seem to be you're abiding by the HIPAA principles. You have your own ethical values and principles that are guiding this, and you're trying to protect the privacy rights of your users. This is all very ethical and noble. Do you have any trouble with conflicts of interest with donors that may not share those same ethical values?
No, touch wood. We have so far a couple of partners or donors who have supported these efforts on the commercialization aspect, and we have not faced any of such issues. And I think that people understand that the whole purpose of doing this, so they are very much on board with us in this regard.
And do you have any idea of any, besides just the signed agreements, any other sorts of controls on the companies using the data? Do you have any plans to control for that, and how would you handle any sort of breach?
So we do have business associate agreements with the partners, and we also follow the audit trails where we really keep a track of how the data was shared, and we do have cyber secured spaces, the clouds which we share upon, and most of the before we really start working on the data, most of the information about the patient, every sensitive information has been stripped off. So we make sure that it is done at the origin.
Now, as you're developing this new venture, has anything surprised you? Have you run into any unintended consequences or things that you hadn't really thought about? Because I know you're focused on the technology and helping the consumer. Has there been a speed bump along the way?
As you can imagine, that yes, there are some surprises, because this whole venture is adventure to me, because I've never done something like this. I've always been a clinician and a researcher. So I get to learn a lot about the business aspect and people's attitude towards this. But I've been just fortunate to have really right team around me, and people we are interacting with are just amazing, and I think that their support is very appreciated. And like I said earlier, that we are really truly looking for partners who value our approach to the patient care, and they understand where we are heading towards.
Now, what's your timeline, expected timeline, desired timeline, and what are your expectations for the AI tool beyond detecting just macular degeneration, but other eye problems and diseases?
Yes, we are hoping to really get into diabetic retinopathy as well as myopia, because these are some of the diseases which are really alarming.
My mother had that too.
Yeah, so I would say that, at this point our focus is AMD, but as a imaging researcher, I can tell you that many of these biomarkers are easily applicable on diabetic retinopathy as well as myopia, and it would be much shorter span of time where we will be really be able to bring up solutions for other diseases. At this point, we are hoping to start our pilot studies very soon for AMD. But as you can understand that, the clinical partners and understanding how the workflow is, what the reliability is in the real life, those lessons will teach us a lot. And we are hoping that by next year, mid next year, we will have something coming out very soon.
I hope so. I think the society really needs this, and I applaud you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
My mother had juvenile diabetes, so she was detected when she was age 10. Is there a benefit to this tool on examining children, or is there an age where you would actually draw the line on using the AI tool?
So at this point, because our focus is AMD, which happens mostly on the age group beyond beyond 55, so we haven't tested these tools on the children yet, but as we are barging towards myopia, we will be using some of these tools on that as well, which will help us to understand the myopia progression as well.
All right, excellent. Yeah, I guess just one more question for you today, and you can add any other comments that you'd like, but you're a very accomplished surgeon and doctor, but you said that you're new to this sort of venture. Is there anything for our audience that you could give any tips or advice on how to start something like this?
I would say that if your intentions are good and you are following the ethics, and I think that what I have learned in last 1.5 years with this business development situation, I have realized that if your intentions are good, if you really have clear vision what you want to do, and it is for the society's good, I think that just people will come around you, they will help you, and I can't express that the number of people have really come on their own and tried to help us, and this is very encouraging, and it just pushes us more to do something good.
Oh, sure. I think this is attractive to all kinds of partners that want to work towards the common good and really help society. So I think what you're doing is just wonderful, and
Thank you.
It's really an honor. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you for everything and for the time and for teaching us about your new AI tool and your wonderful idea.
Thank you.
So we'll wrap up this inaugural podcast for ethical AI and the common good as part of the Ethics Vibes podcast series associated with the Vera Institute. Know that we have the Destructive Side of Entrepreneurship series as well as Ethical Tensions Facing Nonprofits series. So look for us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and LinkedIn, and anywhere you find your podcasts. And please send us your feedback and give us a like if you like what you're seeing. We will see you next time, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.